There is a food the ancient pharaohs insisted on taking with them into the afterlife. A humble tuber so nutrient-dense it helped sustain entire civilizations for over 6,000 years. And today, agricultural departments across the world label it as one of the most troublesome weeds on Earth. They design herbicides specifically to destroy it. They publish bulletins warning farmers about it. An entire industry has grown around eliminating it. Chemical companies have made fortunes teaching farmers how to poison it out of existence. Yet this plant produces more calories per acre than many modern cultivated crops. It survives droughts that wipe out everything else. It grows where wheat and corn simply cannot. It requires no fertilizer, no pesticides, no machinery, and that is exactly why it became a threat. This is the story of the superfood the modern world calls a weed. Early 1900s, archaeologists excavating pre-dynastic Egyptian tombs discovered something that challenged everything we knew about ancient nutrition. Inside burial chambers nearly 6,000 years old, they found dried tubers carefully placed alongside the dead, only prepared, preserved, and selected. Studies of mummies even found traces of these same tubers inside their stomachs, consumed as a final meal. To the living, they were food. To the dead, they were sustenance for the afterlife. At Wadi Kubania, north of Aswan, archaeologists uncovered wild remains of this plant dating back to 16,000 BCE, 16,000 years. 8,000 years before organized agriculture even existed. These were wild harvests, clear proof that humans were gathering this food during the last ice age. By 5000 BCE, it had become one of Egypt's most ancient cultivated foods, ranking just behind emmer wheat and barley. In the tomb of Rekhmir, vizier to Pharaoh Thutmose III, wall paintings depict peasants measuring, washing, and preparing these tubers. Workers grind them with long pestles, mix them with honey, and shape them into tall, pointed cones. These were sacred cakes, offerings to the god Amun, required by royal decree for every festival. The Egyptians called them Habul Aziz. The Greeks knew them. Theophrastus wrote about boiling them in beer. The Romans traded them. For thousands of years, they were everywhere. This is Chufa, scientifically Cyperus esculentus. Africans know it as aya or atadwi. English speakers call them tiger nuts, though they are not nuts at all. They are tubers, underground energy stores, belonging to the sedge family, the same family as papyrus. Chufa grows in marshes and wet soil where most crops rot. One plant can produce up to 75 tubers. Each tuber is about the size of a chickpea, sweet and nutty, tasting like a mix of almond and coconut. The Egyptians ate them raw, roasted, boiled in beer, or ground with honey. The Ebers Papyrus, one of the world's oldest medical texts, describes Chufa remedies for oral care and mixtures used as household fumigations. From Egypt, Arabs carried Chufa across North Africa, Sicily, and Spain. In Valencia, it became the base of horchata de Chufa, a milky, refreshing drink made since the 13th century. Valencia still produces more than 1,000 tons every year for this tradition. But here is what matters most. Chufa wasn't just food, it was survival technology. The tubers can be dried and stored indefinitely, without refrigeration, without chemicals, without any special method. Cooking them in water restores them to full size, ready to eat or plant. This allowed ancient communities to dry the harvest through winter and maintain food security through droughts, famines, or siege. Now let's look inside the tuber, because here the story becomes even more compelling. Chufa contains up to 10% protein, comparable to many grains, and includes all essential amino acids. Its fats are mostly healthy unsaturated fats like oleic acid, the same found in olive oil. Some researchers even consider Chufa a potential biodiesel crop due to its high oil yield. Its carbohydrates are primarily resistant starch, fuel for beneficial gut bacteria without causing spikes in blood sugar. It contains nearly 4 times more fiber than typical fiber sources. Rich in calcium, magnesium, iron, and potassium, it is naturally gluten-free, dairy-free, and allergy-friendly. You can grind it into flour, blend it into milk, roast it as a snack, or eat it raw. So here is the uncomfortable question. If this tuber is nutritionally powerful, if it has sustained humans for 16,000 years, if it requires no inputs and thrives in harsh conditions, why isn't it a staple food today? The uncomfortable answer, Chufa resists control. When Chufa entered modern commercial agriculture, it wasn't welcomed. It was categorized as an enemy. Is now classified as one of the worst agricultural weeds in the world. Agricultural bulletins warn about it. Universities publish research on eliminating it. Chemical companies engineer herbicides specifically to target it. The USDA even issued Technical Bulletin number 1642 entirely dedicated to yellow nut sedge, calling it a threat to industrial monocultures. Why? Because Chufa spreads underground with regenerative tubers that survive long after the visible plant dies. One plant can yield dozens of tubers, each capable of surviving in soil for years. Once established, it's nearly impossible to eradicate. That resilience, once seen as a blessing, is now called a problem. Industrial agriculture depends on controlled crops, patented seeds, fertilizers, herbicides. Machinery Chufa needs none of it. It grows freely, it stores naturally. It feeds people without demanding infrastructure. In Spain, Chufa yields can reach 3 to 6 tons per acre. Wheat averages about 3 tons per acre with heavy inputs. Even in poor soil, wild Chufa produces hundreds of pounds of nutrient-dense food with no fertilizers or pesticides. But here's the issue. You cannot patent Chufa. You cannot sell fertilizers for a crop that grows in poor soil. You cannot sell herbicides for a plant that outcompetes weeds. You cannot create dependency when farmers can replant their own tubers forever. So the narrative shifted. Chufa became a weed, a problem, something to be killed. Yet even after decades of herbicides, Chufa still grows, still feeds, still survives, just as it did for thousands of years, and the knowledge survives. In Valencia, horchata remains a protected cultural tradition. In parts of Africa, the Hausa people still cultivate and trade Chufa as food. Health communities rediscovered Chufa as tiger nuts. Researchers explore its potential for biodiesel and gluten-free flour. Still, major agricultural institutions rarely promote it. Funding goes into controlling it, not growing it, but people are learning. Every gardener who discovers that the weed in their field is actually ancient food. Every farmer who sees Chufa produce more nutrition per acre than wheat. Every person who realizes this plant thrives without inputs. They all challenge the narrative. Chufa wasn't forgotten because it was worthless. It was forgotten because it was too valuable, too independent, for modern systems built on dependency. Yet the plant remains, still growing, still offering 6,000 years of nutrition to anyone willing to remember. If this vault opened something for you, subscribe to Nature Lost Vault and hit the bell. Every like and every share helps preserve this wisdom. The next vault opens soon.